Okay, let's quickly begin with our discussion then. Before I even begin, I also would want to know um, that people out here in the session who are live today, how many of you have given mocks of CMAT examination? And if yes, please post in the chat box your highest score of your CMAT paper or mock test. There's no one who's going to be judging you on the level of performance. No, it just need to be, I mean, I just want to see the diversity of the current crowd which I'm interacting with, and possibly we'll discuss upon the scope of improvement in each section and the mocks also which you guys have to plan. Yes, I'm sure all of you might have given at least one mock, right? You can either put a direct message or a postal message in the chat box so that I can very well understand that what is the current level of standing and where do we have to reach. Cool. Shreya is 318. I am a smoke, good enough. Others, I can see some postal messages also coming up. Good enough. Quite good. Okay. Okay. Shreya, yes, this session is also going to be helpful for CET because the difficulty level of both the exams is going to be at par. There's no difference in terms of LOD level. And the kind of questions is almost on the same parity of what the CMAT exam is all about. Cool. Now, technically, people who are aiming for getting to the topmost college, which is Jamal Bajaj, I'm sure you are looking at a percentile which is 99.9 plus. Okay. Now, a safe band score, if you ask me that, what's going to be the desired score for on which you can get a call from JBI, surely would be 340 plus. But at the same time, let me also tell you, if at all you're not, I mean, open for, let's say, top 5 or 6 business schools which are there in CMAT, then any score which is above 300, any score above 300, which is going to be surely above 95 percentile in the examination, is something which you can look up to. A score of 300 to 340 should be the desired percentile bandwidth of 95 to 99.9 for you to get into those colleges that we are aiming at. In today's session, we'll see the scope of cracking the quant-based questions or maths-based questions, which is going to come 20 in number. I'm sure all of you have done your research with respect to the paper pattern. Maths or quant will give you around 20 odd questions. Let me give you the score pattern range also. Now, people who get around about 95 percentile in the mock test of, let's say, your actual paper of CMAT, these are the guys who solved around about 15 odd questions out of 20 very well. Okay. Now, someone who's looking at 99 percentile, there, I mean, I've seen people scoring 18, 19, or mostly out of 20 questions also in the quant section, because none of the questions is bound to be untouched, because all the question difficulty level is going to be all-time low, provided you have focus on the concepts and the applications really very well. You will be able to clear all the questions which comes in the quant section. Clear? Certainly, yes, Ananta, I'll take care of the functions questions too, which has come up in the previous year questions of the examination at the same time. Cool. So anything above 18 is what going to be my target. I repeat, my target for you is, if at all you're looking at a very high percentile, your score in quant has to be 18 out of 20 at any given day. Okay. Now, possibly if at all you're not giving a full length paper, you need to do one thing: cut down on the full length paper, but give sectional mock. Every day, one section of the given paper you can give it, and see the scope of improvement in each topic. You start with giving a section, identify the weak topics of those topics, revise the basic concept, and give the topic level test. Day by day, you got to improve your scores. It's going to come up with a very marginal score, but day by day, day by day, possibly 8-10 days, which whatever you have got in hand, should be able to see good amount of jump also in the given examination. But make sure all the possible matrices you're working upon is quantifiable, which means if you are looking at one of the topic, check the relevancy of this topic in the given examination. How many questions can you expect? In those questions or topic, what is the current level of efficiency which you have got? Which means if you're solving 10 questions, how many of them you're able to get right? And if that is still low, then it makes sense for you to work. So it's a combination of probability for that topic to come with a heavy weightage and you scoring very less as of now. So once you have segmented these topics really very well, in which you need to see the scope of improvement of these topics day by day, keep giving and evolving over the topic level test and the sectional test on a daily basis. There shouldn't be even a single instance right from now till the end of the given examination that you're not taking either a full length paper or a sectional test or at least a topic level test to see the improvement in the given scores. Is this clear, everyone? Now, in today's session, what is the objective? The objective is to see the previous year questions which has come in the CMAT paper. We'll see how to solve them, and those important topics also which is going to come up and will be relevant for you to solve those questions. We'll cover up the concept also. At the same time, we will also cover those questions which has come in the paper. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with a topic which is basically of permutation combination probability. Let me also give you the probable range of questions that you can expect. Out of 20 odd questions which you may get in the examination, a minimum of 2 to a maximum of 3 questions you can expect in this chapter. I repeat, combining probability and permutation combination both, a minimum of 2 to a maximum of 3 questions you can expect. At least 1 or 2 questions is going to be the easiest question which all of you can solve, even if you have half prepared for the given examination. 3 out of 3 people who have actually like really good in permutation combination probability would be able to solve. So there's nothing to worry about that much because the probability of these topics itself coming in the paper will not be that high as a weightage. Clear? But yes, those 2 questions which is going to come up in the examination specifically of your paper, which is your permutation combination probability, 2 out of 3 has to be solved. Okay. And the third, if at all your efficiency goes up, you should take a risk. Otherwise, you can see the other questions also at the same time. Clear? Let's quickly have a look at the question which came in the year 2021. I hope you are able to see the complete screen. Well, I'll give you certain time to think through how the question needs to be tackled and solved, and then we'll see how to take this ahead. If you see the option, the options in the given question, they are not asking you about a numerical number. Okay, it's just the expression what they have given you. So probably I don't even have to solve the entire question to get the final numerical value, because the options of these 4 A, B, C, D are giving you an expression, not the numerical figure. Listen to the question very clearly. The question says, how many 10-digit numbers, I repeat, how many 10-digit numbers can be formed using all the digits of the given number 2, 4, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 2, 2, 8, such that odd digits appear only in even places. Okay, odd digits appears only in even places. So there are 2 aspects which is going to be covered, has to be covered in this. One, let's say certain topics, let's say certain objects. Some objects have to be arranged in some places. That's one. Some objects have to be arranged in some places. That's part 1. Second, you will also see the concept of repetition coming up. I can see 5 coming twice. I can see 2 coming thrice. I can see 3 coming twice. So there are 2 things that we have to look into. One, the odd digits have to be arranged in even places, and certainly the even digits will be automatically gets arranged in the odd places. That's one. Second, you also have got the repetition which is going to come up, which is also the repetition coming up. So divide the entire question possibly in 2 stages. One is arrangement and second is repetition. You can do phase by phases. Now there are 10 digits which we have got. Now tell me the count of total number of odd numbers which you can see here. How many odd numbers do I see here? I can see odd here. I can see odd here, 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 and here. So how many odd numbers do we see here? 3, 5, 7, 5, 3. These are the cases of the odd numbers which we have got. Automatically, what are the even numbers left? 2, 4, 2, 2, 8. I repeat, 2, 2, 2, 4, 8 is the odd numbers which I can see here. I hope all of you can see this well, right? Everyone out here. And I want all the group to whoever is there in the session now to interact and possibly see the best of the outcomes coming up only if your interaction comes up live and goes hand in hand. Clear? Now, the 2 things that we have to look into is first is arrangement and second, taking care of the repetitions also. Now out here, there are 5 places or 5, let's say, out of 10 spaces which I have got, how many of them will be even places? There will be 5 even places and obviously there will be 5 odd places. So if 5 numbers have to be arranged, I repeat, if 5 numbers have to be arranged, which are those numbers? The odd digits. If these 5 odd numbers have to be arranged in 5 places, in how many ways can you do it? Certainly you can do it in 5 factorial ways, which all of us know. But how many repetitions do we see here? Yes. How many repetitions do we see here? We can see a repetition of 3 coming twice and 5 coming twice. So the number of repetitions, I'm sure all of you know, would have to be divided also. So the number of ways in which The number of odd digits can appear only in even places will be 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. Why 2 and 2? Because certainly there are 2 repetitions, which is 3 coming twice and 5 coming twice. Similarly, now here I've got 5 even numbers. These 5 even numbers can be arranged in 5 factorial ways, which all of us know. But how many repetitions do we see here? There's only one repetition, which you can see here, which is 2, 2, 2 coming thrice. Now, all what you need to do is just check which of the following options. Just check which of the following options gives you the same expression. Now, 5 factorial into 5 factorial definitely will give you 5 factorial the whole square. At the same time, 2 factorial into 2 factorial will give you 2 factorial the whole square multiplied by 3 factorial. Now, that's my final expression. There's no point of you to solve it further. But if you look at the options which are available, you'll see none of ABC, but option 4, which is option number D, is fully in line with the expression which I've got in the end. Clear? Which are the 2 things which you have taken care of, Kripa, Ananta, and everyone? One is arrangements, and second is repetition. The number of times the distinct values are getting repeated, that particular number have to be divided by the arrangements which you're looking at. So Shreya, you will divide 5 factorial divided by 2 into 2, because there are 2 numbers which are repeated, 3 coming twice and 5 coming twice. And similarly here, the 5 numbers here, so it's going to be 5 factorial divided by repetition of 2 coming thrice. And the final expression would be 5 factorial the whole square divided by 2 factorial the whole square into 3 factorial. Now, this is fairly a moderate question, not a very easy, not a very difficult question, provided the concept of repetitions, all of you know how to tackle it. Now, they have to be arranged together, right? It's so simple, Shreya, to answer your question. Whenever the question deals with either or, obviously you will add. And whenever 2 events are happening together or multiple events are happening together, you got to multiply all of them. Based on this, you have got one more question. Sometimes the length of the question makes us feel that I should not solve the question given the time that we have got. But the difficulty level of the question can't be judged looking at the length of the question. So what I personally feel, the more the data is, that much easier, that much easy. Kripa will try to cover all the possible topics of arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and modern math to a level of extent, whatever we can do in today's session. And we'll frequently keep the other topics and the other sessions in the upcoming days too. Now, looking at this is the probability-based question. Okay. Now, if you look at the entire case that I would give you possibly 20-30 seconds to skim through what the question is all about, and then we'll solve it also together. Now, the objective for today's session, this particular question is, you will see that there are 2 aspects which are coming up. One is the question deals with probability, that's one, but there are also chances of occurrence. There are also chances of occurrence. Let's see. And you also need to understand the events which are happening in the question. Are they mutually exclusive or they're happening together? Look at the question. The question says, during the next year, the probability that company A releases a phone, the probability that company A releases a phone is 0.7. The probability that the mobile is going to be a success given by any company is 0.8. Now they have not told that the probability of success of company A, or what they have given you on 0.1 is the probability that the company A will release a mobile is 0.7. Probability that the launch of the given mobile is successful from any company is 0.8. That's the catch, because A is not being given there. Next, the probability that mobile is success and released by company B. I repeat, the probability that mobile is successful and released by company B together, happening together, is 0.8. Now the question is, a mobile released by either company A or company B during 1 year is success, either A or B, which means you got to add the sum of probability. The question is, what is the probability that the phone or mobile has been released by company A? As what you can see here, let's say there are 2 companies, A and B. Let's start off with A. What is the probability that the mobile will be released? What is the probability that the mobile will be released by company A? It's 0.7. Now what they have given you, the probability of success is 0.8. but that is not of A. If I have to make it the probability of success from A, it's going to become 0.7 that it is being released by A, plus at the same time it is being successful also. Clear? Which will account for how much? This will account for 0.56. So the probability of release and success happening from A together is 0.56. But if you look at the instance of B says that the probability that mobile is successful and released by company B, both happening together, probability of success and release, both happening together from B has already been given to this 0.8. Now what they have given you, a mobile released by either A or B is called a success. So what is my total probability of success? This is nothing but 0.56 plus 0.28. 0.56 plus 0.28. Now the question is, what is the probability that it is being released by A? Now probability of A is something which you've already found out, which is 0.56. So my final probability will be how much? My final probability would be 0.56 divided by 0.84, which will be 56 upon 84. So what is my final answer for this given question? Come on, quickly, if all of you can solve this. This is not going to be difficult for you to solve at this stage. Everyone out here have to take a lead to solve this question, please. Cool. Pooja, Shugla, Shreya, everyone out here have to solve this question. And the answer for this given question would be option number C, which is 2 by 3. Now, definitely the difficulty level of question number 1 and 2 was definitely on par. The length of the question, I would rate it to be a lengthy question, but the difficulty level of these questions was not that difficult and it could be untouched. Clear? So both the questions, if you see this question in the given paper, this possibly will also become a round 1 question. Ideally, you can divide, you've got plenty of time in the given CMAT examination. Now, what I would want is, out of 20 questions, I repeat, out of 20 questions, whatever has come up, you can possibly spare around about 3 to 4 minutes or less than 3 minutes to figure in that what is the first set of questions that you would want to solve to see your maximum rate of success happening there. And then round 2 questions, which you will touch after the set of easy questions got over. Out of 20 questions, which is going to come up, around about 13, 14 questions will be like easy set to go. Okay. And the remaining 5, 6 odd questions will be like, they are not next to impossible. They're just round 2 questions, which I will cover up once those 14 questions are got over. Okay. So why 0.7 into 0.8? Because the probability you need of the given company of release and successful together. Now in the initial set, it has been given that the release probability is 0.7, but the probability of mobile to be a success without the name of the company is 0.8. So if I want this to be of company A, this is obviously 0.7 into 0.8. Because only if the company is releasing a phone, then there could be a chance that the phone can be successful. क्योंकि अगर ये होगा ही नहीं तो आगे नहीं जाओगे ना, तो ये भी चाहिए और ये भी. So it's going to become 0.56. Is this clear, everyone? Cool. Certain questions. So these are the questions which I would. So the interpretation is when you see a question, you should figure out that it is a round 1 question, a round 2 question. Very well. I'm sure all of you will consider this to be a round 1 question, not a difficult question at all. You see there are 2 pipes, A and B. Now you will not even solve the question. It's so simple. There are 2 pipes, A and B, which can fill a tank in 5 hours and 20 hours respectively. So A can fill. It's so simple. A can fill 1 hour mein kitna? 1/5, which is 1 by 5 is 20%. B will do how much? 1 upon 20. 1 upon 20 will be 5%. A sum total of 20 and 5 is accountable for 25% of the work done to be done in 1 hour. If 25% of work has been done in 1 hour, the total work to be done, how much time will it take to complete the tank, fill the tank, will be as simple as 4 hours. Clear? So basically what I personally do prefer is like the percentage method. 1 by 5 is 20%. 1 by 20 is 5%. A sum total of 25% in 1 hour. So in 4 hours, you will accountable for 100% of the tank to be filled. As simple as that. So this question, I mean, automatically, whenever you see this, you will take less than 10 seconds to read and get the answer right also. Now, certain questions on which you got to make cases. I repeat, certain questions in which you got to make cases, you got to be slightly more constructive with respect to choosing those questions to be in round one or round two. Clear? How many of you consider this to be a round one question that, I mean, the moment you see the question, you would be able to solve it well? Yes. Okay. The question says, M is a 4-digit number. I repeat, M is a 4-digit number. If the leftmost digit is being removed, then the resulting 3-digit number is 1/9 of M. The question is how many such M's are possible? The question is how many such M's are possible? Now let's consider any 4-digit number. Let me consider to be in this form. Let's take A, X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z, because I need to consider the last 3 digits to be together. Now let's say this is my 4-digit number. Obviously, if I remove the leftmost digit, it's going to be left with X, Y, Z. Now they're saying X, Y, Z is basically 1/9. X, Y, Z is basically 1/9 of this given number. And how many such cases are possible? Clear? How many such cases are possible for this given question? That's what you need to answer. Now, let's say if you have a number, let's take 9999. I can write 9999 in which form? I can write 9999 in this form, 9000 by 9 plus 999 by 9. Similarly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make or break this values in thousands. So let's consider A to be as 8000 divided by 9 plus the remaining value, which is XYZ, to be divided by 9 should be equal to XYZ. Now, there's nothing new which you have done. You just broken in such a way so that the 1000 value can be eliminated very easily. Clear? If I take XYZ on the right hand side, this basically is 9XYZ by 9 because 9 will get cancelled. 9XYZ minus XYZ upon 9 will give you how much? Will give you 8XYZ upon 9, and this value should be equal to 8000 upon 9. Now you got 9 and getting cancelled. What is left is 8000 to be equal to 8XYZ. 8XYZ. And the question is, how many such M's are possible? How many such values are possible? The answer will be totally dependent. The answer will be totally dependent on the value of A. I repeat, the answer here will be totally dependent on the value of A, because check the maximum value of A. I repeat, check the maximum value of A, whatever it can come, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till infinity, which on division by 8 will give you either a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number. Yes? What do you think? What answer will come up here? Now, as said, I have given you a very good hint. What I'm telling you is, now the answer depends on the value of A. The value of A can start with as low as 1000. 1000 by 8 will give you a certain number. Is that a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number which you have to look into? Clear? Now I need only those cases. Where I see 3-digit numbers coming up. For example, if I take A to be as 8, the value will become 8000. And 8000 by 8 will give you a value which is 10,000 or 1000. 1000 will become a 4-digit number. So I cannot take 8. If I cannot take 8, can I take any number which is bigger than 8? Certainly no. And how about if I take the value which is 7000? What do you think? 7000 by 8, will this value be a 3-digit number or a 4-digit number? Now, certainly you are not considering it to be as 7000 only, because the other 3 digits is also there, which I'm not concerned about, because some of the other number will be there throughout. But 7000 by 8 will definitely give me a 3-digit number. So I can take all those numbers which is starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's it. 8 and beyond will definitely give me a 4-digit numbers, which I will not take. Clear? Whatever the number may be, it could be like 7, 5, 6, 8, division by 9 could give you 5, 6, 8. I'm giving the random proposition, but yes, all those numbers which are in 7000s can only be considered. And hence, the answer for the given question would be about any number which A can take from 1 till 7, because the moment I move to 8,000 and beyond, it's going to give me a 4-digit number. Is this clear to everyone out here in the session? Now, such questions, I would rather say you can have to ballpark it in round 2, because possibly it's going to take more than 1 minute for you to take all the cases and proposition. Why? Because you cannot even miss on any single instance that I missed on 7 or 8 or 9 or 1 or 2. Is this clear to everyone out here in the session? Yes or no? And hence the answer for the given question will be basically 7 and not even 8 or 9 or 10. Good. Good enough. Now, this is one of the most standard questions. I repeat, this is one of the most standard questions which comes up, and I'm sure whichever mock test you take, whichever CMAT exam you take, you will see this these questions coming up year on year. Two people working together, two people working together, two people working together, and the question is about find the alone work done. Let's say any of the person, L, M, N, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, find out the one who can do it alone is the question. That's what you need to find out. The question says, L and M together can complete a piece of work. Certainly, there are two ways in which you can solve this question. I'll possibly give you both the proposition well. The question says L and M together can complete a piece of work in 72 days. M and N together can complete a piece of work in 120 days. L and N together can do the work in 90 days. The question is, in what time can L alone complete the work? Clear? Now, as what you can see here, L and M has been given to you. Together, they're able to do the work in 72 days. Similarly, M and N can do the work in 120 days. And then towards the end, L and N can do the work in 90 days. Now, first thing that you need to understand is find out the LCM of the given numbers 72, 120, and 90, which is the quantum of work which I need to do. Okay, I repeat, tell me, let's say I have to find out the quantum of work. What is the total amount of work which you need to do? 72, 120, and 90, it's quite easy. Ananta has given the answer well. 360 is the LCM of this. Let's say 360 is the amount of work. The total work to be done is 360 units. Now, if L and M can do the work in 72 days, completing 360 units of work, what is the per day unit work what L and M are doing together? L and M can complete 5 units of work in one day, 360 by 72. Similarly, M and N can do how much? M and N can do 360 by 120, which can do it 3 units of work. And similarly, L and N can do how much? Can do 360 upon 90, which will be as simple as 4 units. Now, if you see, if I take the addition of all of them, now let's say if I am adding L plus M plus M plus N plus L plus N, twice you are adding all of them, L, M, and N, which is basically 5 plus 3 plus 4, which is 12 units. So let's say together 1 unit, L, M, and N, like in a unitary method, they will be able to complete 6 units of work. L, M, and N can do 6 units of work in one day. Now, what is the question? The question is about find the amount of work that L can do alone. L can do alone. Now let's see for M and N. For M and N, you said M and N together can do 3 units. Together, L, M, and N can do 12 units. Sorry, 6 units. Out of them, 3 units have been done by M and N. So the leftover value, which is basically 6 minus 3 and 3, is the unit of work which who is doing that? Who is doing that? L is doing it. So L basically is doing 3 units of work. What is the total amount of work which you've got? The total amount of work will be 360. Will basically be 360. So how many days will L take? L will take definitely 120 days to finish the work. Is this clear, everyone? Everyone, is this clear? Okay. This one.
Can you repeat this L plus M?
So I'm saying if you see all of them are coming twice. I repeat, all of them are coming twice. L plus M, M plus N, and L plus N will be 2 times L plus M plus N, which basically is a sum count of 12 units, right? So 12 by 2, you'll get a simple count of L plus M plus N, which is 6 units. Now, out of all M and N, you found out M and N can do 3 units of work per day. So I'll get the value of L, which is 6 minus 3, 3 units. Now 3 is per day activity. The total activity is 360. So the amount of days or number of days which L will take will be 360 upon 3. Clear? There's also one more
Yes,
proposition
sir.
in which you can do it. The easiest way would be about, yeah, so you can just take a direct application in terms of a simple formula. If you want to find the value of L here, I repeat, if you want to find the value of L or the first person who's solving the question, it's going to be given by simple unit of 2 times xyz upon xy plus yz minus zx. What is x, y, and z? X is the amount of days that L and M will take to complete the work. Y is the amount of days will M and N will be working together, and Z is the amount of work where the last set of person, which is M and N, will be doing it. L and N will be doing it together. Okay, by doing this, you will get the value of L or the first guy, which is A in the given question. So if you do not want to go with the unitary method, you can directly use this application to get the answer. Clear? Cool. Now, easy question. Round one, definitely a round one question, which you can see question number 7 to be taken up on the screen. I'm sure by the time you stop reading the question, the answer should also be out. The question says, a milkman adds 10 liters of water. A milkman adds 10 liters of water to 90 liters of milk. After selling 1/5 of the total quantity, he adds equal amount of quantity he sold, which is water. What is the final proportion of water to milk? Cool. Quite easy question. You have got 10 amount or 10 liters of water and 90 liters of milk, which is available here. Now, 1/5 will account for how much loss? 1/5 will account for 20% loss. 20% will be 10 minus 2, and 20% of 18 will be 18 less. Will basically be 18 less. Clear? So what do I have got? I can see the amount of water which is left in the end will be 8, and the amount of water which is left here would be 72, right? Which is milk here. Now 8 upon 72 is the current proposition where I've got 80 liters of solution. But I'm also going to add 20 more liters of water to replenish the loss which I have incurred. So the new proportion, or let's say ratio of water to milk, will be 28 by 72. What's the final answer for this given question? The final answer of the given question will be as simple as 28 upon 72. Clear? A very simple round one question which all of you have solved this. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? I'm sure all of you have got the answer right also. Clear? Good. Perfect. Going ahead, let's take this question. Majority of the questions which comes in geometry also, they are based on symmetry. And I'm sure by the time you read the question, you will be able to solve the answer that instant only. The question says, in triangle ABC, I repeat, in the triangle ABC, DE and F are the midpoints of sides AB, BC, and CA respectively. The question is, what is the ratio of area of DEF to the area of ABC? To the area of ABC. Now, I think this is the most easiest question which you can ever expect on the paper to come up. And people who know the properties of equilateral triangle can solve it like without making the diagram also. And people who are making a diagram also can see it very well. I mean, if you just see that the first triangle which you will be making will be ABC, using the midpoint of AB, BC, and CA, you're drawing D, E, and F. Clear? So the midpoint is obviously going to divide the length into half and half, which is a ratio of 1:1, right? Now, certainly if you leave that, I can see if I cut them from all the vertices, you will see there are 4 equilateral triangles coming up. There are 4 equilateral triangles coming up, and all of them will be equal in size. So what is the total proportion here? I can see 1 unit here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So D, E, and F will basically is counting for 1 unit. And ABC is a sum total of 1, 2, 3, 4, all the 4 units. And hence, the ratio for the given question will be as simple as quick as 1:4. I am sure it's one of the easiest questions which you can expect on the paper to come up also. I hope this is clear to everyone out here in the session. Clear? Going ahead, and I mean, as said, the objective is to see all the old questions and see if there any concept which is required for you to explain that. If not, then possibly you can solve it as and when you see the question across any of the examination which you're looking at. Certain times, some instance of the given question will not be required also. For example, if you see here, a 100-meter long train, I repeat, a 100-meter long train crosses a 200-meter long and 20-meter wide bridge in 20 seconds. Now, what is the purpose of the width of the bridge? I do not need it because when I want to cover a certain distance, I repeat, when I want to cover a certain distance, I'm going to add which all distances, the length of the train and the length of the platform or the bridge which I'm going to cross. What is the width has to do with the given question? No one knows. So if that is not required, you can possibly eliminate the point of 20-meter wide bridge. Now tell me, what is the total length what the train has to cover? The length of the train is being given to you as 100 and you got to cover the bridge which is of 200 meter. So the total length to be covered is 300, right? And the time which you're taking is basically 20 seconds. So what is the speed of the given train to cross this? It's being given to you by 15 meter per second. Now this speed you have got in meter per second, you got to convert into kilometer per hour. How do you do that? By multiplying by 18 upon 5. Multiplying by 18 upon 5, 18 will directly give you 54 kmph of the speed. And hence, the answer for the given question Kripa has given, right, will be basically 54 kmph. Clear? The only point of discussion which could not be a part of our solution would be 20-meter wide bridge. I hope this is clear to everyone. Is this clear, everyone? Okay, cool. Okay, next question which you can see is basically based on either you can consider to be as a polynomial expression or quadratic. So it's basically quadratic only because x square can be considered as a one unit also. Read the question well. If you're unable to see the screen well, let me tell you. The expression says if x square minus 3x plus 2, I repeat, if x square minus 3x plus 2 is a factor of x raised to 4 minus px squared plus q, then find the value of pq. The question to you is find the value of pq in the given question. Come on, I'm sure all of you can solve the question well. It's not that difficult a question. Now, before we move upon, tell me the first equation which you can see here is x squared minus 3x plus 2. Tell me the roots of this equation. I'm sure people out here in the session know how to solve and find the roots of the given expression. Everyone out here in the session? Perfect. It's simple. It's x squared minus 3x plus 2. Is it going to be 2? No. It's going to be x minus 2 into x minus 1. Now, certainly you can find that 2 and 1 are the roots of the expression or equation. Now, certainly plus 2 and plus 1 will, if this is a factor of x squared, x raised to 4, plus px squared plus q, then in that case, 2 and 1 will also be a factor. I repeat, 2 and 1 will also be the roots of the given expression. At least 2 of the roots will be 2 and 1. The other 2 possibly you need to find, right? Now, if 2 and 1 are the roots of the equation, I repeat, if 2 and 1 are the roots of the equation, let's find what the expression is going to become if I put or substitute the value of 1 and 2. If I substitute the value of 1 or 2 in the given expression of x raised to 4 plus px squared plus q, this should automatically be solved to be equal to 0. Put the value of 1 instead of x, it's going to become 1 plus p plus q to be equal to 0. So I get the first expression to be in the form of p plus q will be equal to minus 1. Similarly, if I put the value of 2 here, it's going to become 2 raised to 4, which is 16, plus p times 2 square, which is 4, plus q will be equal to 0. I repeat, 16 plus 4p plus q should be equal to 0 is what they have given you. So what they have given you is q plus 4p will be equal to minus 16. Will be equal to minus 16. My bad. So that's a minus sign. I think we missed on one thing. That's a negative sign. Yeah. Just a second. This is negative. Yeah. So this is minus and this is also minus. So just change the sign and I'm sure you'll be able to solve it well. What do we have got? You'll see q minus p will be equal to minus 1 using 1 and q minus 4p will be equal to minus 16 is what you have got. And you got to solve this to help me with the final answer also. Now you've got 1 minute of time to find the value of q and p respectively. Everyone out here can take a lead and solve this question. Come on, you've got 2 equations and 2 expressions. All the variables, solve it together. I'm sure all of you can solve it well. Tell me the final answer quickly. Kripa, Shurya, everyone out here in the session. Quickly. Yes. What is the value of p you guys are getting? The value of p should be, it's visible. The value of p will be 5. If you substitute the value of p to be as 5, you'll get q to be as 4. And hence the answer for the given question will be 5, 4, which is option number B. Yes. Cool. And that's your final answer. Ananta, is this clear? Everyone out here in the session, is this clear? Cool. So these questions is also not going to be difficult. I mean, provided you know the basic concepts of how to tackle the questions and the expression or the equation very well. Cool. So just like time and work, time, speed, distance also, you will see all the serial type questions coming up in the exam year on year. Okay. Vaishnavi, I'll get a chance to revisit the same question back. Please don't worry. Okay, what happened? So in this given question, what do you have got? Using the first equation, what you have got, which is x squared minus 3x plus 2, you found this is x minus 2 and x minus 1, which said 2 and 1 will be also the factors of this given expression. What is the expression? X squared minus px squared plus q is equal to 0. Now if 2 and 1 are the factors, I'm finding the function of 1, substituting the value of 1 in the placeholder value of x, it's going to become 1 minus p plus q to be equal to 0. Substituting the value of 2, because 2 is also a root, will be 2 raised to 4, which is 16, minus 2 square 4p plus q to be equal to 0. So you're solving just two of these two equations, E2 and Vaishnavi. This is going to become q minus p to be equal to minus 1 and q minus 4p to be equal to minus 16. Is this clear? Is this clear? Cool. Okay, cool. Next question on the screen, again, a time speed distance question. And as said, this is one of the, again, a template based question you will repeatedly see over the years, a constant feature of CMAT examination or the CET examination all throughout. The question says, in a 100-meter race, I repeat, in a 100-meter race, A beats B by 10 meter and B beats C by 5 meter. The question is, how many meters does A beat C? By how many meters does A beats C? Now, any question which comes in time speed distance, you need to develop the appetite of solving it visually. Let's see here. Now, in the given race, when A completes the race, the question first goes to all of you. When A completes a race, automatically A will be on 100. Then in that case, where would B be? B definitely will be 10 meters behind, which is on 90. Clear? Now, the same race, when B is covering the entire race. When B is covering the entire race, obviously B will be covering 100. So where would C be? C has been told to be on 95. Clear? So when A covers 100, B is on 90. When B covers 100, C is on 95. The question is, by how many meters A is beating C? So I want the position of C. Where is C in the first race? Where is C in the first race? The question is as simple as, when B is covering 100, when B is covering 100, C is on 95. So when B is going to cover 90, when I want the reference of A to be as 100, so when B is on 90, where's C? That's a simple expression. Clear? Because when time is constant, the speed is directly proportional with the distance covered. So S1 by S2 will be equal to D1 upon D2. Clear? And that's why, as simple as that, you can also consider 100 to 90 is 10% loss. So here also there would be a loss of 9.5. So this should become 84.5, right? Now 84.5 is the value where? 84.5 is the value where C would be when A is on 100 and B is on 90. So this is 84.5. I repeat, this is 84.5. Now this is 84.5, A is on 100. Tell me by how many meters? Tell me by how many meters A is beating C? Tell me by how many meters? Come on, quickly. My bad, this will not be 84.5, this would be 85.5. No? My bad. Pooja, Shaurya, everyone. 95 minus 9.5 will give you 85.5. Sorry. Will give you 85.5. Now 85.5 is the value of C, where C is. Using that, so the answer will be 100 minus 85.5. The answer would be 14.5 towards the end. Clear? Everyone out here in the session? Got the answer? Vaishnavi, Pooja, everyone? So what is the concept which is important? If the time is constant, as simple as a concept, if time is constant, the ratio of speed is directly proportional with the ratio of distance covered. And using that only, you have solved this question. Not a big deal to solve this question. Cool. Have a look at the next question, please. The question says, the following pie chart indicates the monthly domestic budget of a family. A is for food, B is for conveyance, C is for clothing, D is for house rent, E is for miscellaneous, and F is saving. If the monthly saving of the family is 4500, I'm sure you guys can solve the question on your own also. If the monthly saving of the family is 4500, the question is, what is the monthly income of the family? Come on, all of you can solve this question really very well. Quickly, cool. Now, this is a question mark. What is the percentage value of F? 20 plus 15 plus 18 plus 20 plus 12. What is the sum count of this? 20 will become 40. 40 plus 15 will become 55. And this is 30, 12 and 18. So this will account for 85. 85 has been absorbed. So we can say F will be 15%. So the question is as simple as 15% of my total income is basically 4500. So 15 threes will be this much. So 1% will be 300 and 100% would be 30,000. As simple as that. The answer for this given question would be option number B, straightforward of let's say topic of round 1 question, which all of you can solve it very, very well. Is this clear, everyone out here in the session? Yes or no? Yes, so this is not going to be a difficult question on paper at all, provided just simple calculations you have taken care of. Now, this is a good question which has come on time, speed, and distance in the year 2021. At time, speed, distance, easily you can expect 3 questions coming up at any given paper. So at any given instance, you cannot take a risk of not to do all the questions which has come on TST before you go for the examination. Read the question well. The question says, 2 sisters, Neha and Monica, I repeat, 2 sisters, Neha and Monica, walk to the school from the house. Neha takes 40 minutes while Monica takes 30 minutes. One day, Neha started 5 minutes earlier than Monica. I repeat, one day, Neha started 5 minutes earlier than Monica. In how many minutes would Monica overtake Neha? In how many minutes would Monica overtake Neha is the question. Come on. What is the common? So what is common in this question? Is it going to be time? Is it going to be distance? Or is it going to be speed? Come on. It's one said that the distance in this given question would be constant. Now time taken by Neha is 40 minutes. And time taken by Monica is basically 30 minutes. So the ratio of time is 4:3. If distance is constant, speed is inversely proportional with time. So my ratio of speed, who's faster? Certainly Monica is faster. So the ratio of speed will be 3:4. This is basically Neha, and this is basically Monica. Clear? Clear? That's what has been given to you. So let me assume the speed of Neha to be equal to 3v, and let's assume the speed of Monica to be equal to 4v. Clear? Now the question says on one day, Neha started 5 minutes earlier than Monica. Neha started 5 minutes earlier than Monica, right? Now let's see the amount of distance. Let's see the amount of distance which has been covered by Neha before even Monica kicked off. Before even Monica kicked off, Neha moved for 5 minutes, moving at a speed of 3v. What is the amount of distance which will be covered by Neha? It's going to be 15v of the total distance. Now 15v is the total distance that certainly Monica would cover to overtake Neha because she's moving faster also. But now you will inculcate the speed of the relative speed because both of them are going in the same direction. Now Monica is moving with a speed of 4v and Neha is moving with a speed of 3v. So the difference between them is basically 1v. So the amount of time which Monica will take to overtake Neha moving at a speed of 1v more will be as simple as 15 minutes. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Vaishnavi, Shaurya, Ananta, everyone out here in the session. Is this clear? Kavya. Sure, I'll help you out with the important pointers. The time taken by Neha is 40 minutes. Time taken by Monica is 30 minutes. So the ratio of time is 4:3. If the ratio of time is 4:3, the ratio of speed will be 3:4. It's the reverse or reciprocal. Which means let's assume Neha is moving at 3v speed, Monica is moving at a speed of 4v. Clear? Now, who has the heads up? Neha has the heads up. Neha is moving for 5 minutes alone. Moving at a speed of 3v, moving for 5 minutes, the distance covered by Neha will be 15v. Moving at a speed of 15v, the distance which has to be covered, the distance which has to be covered by Monica to overtake Neha will be, in terms of v, will be how much? Will be 15v. Now, certainly who's moving faster? Here, it's been understood that Monica is moving faster than Neha. The relative speed is difference of 4 minus 3, which is 1v. So, the time is basically taken as the division of total distance upon the relative speed which I've got. Total distance I found it to be as 15v. The relative speed is basically 1v. So, the amount of time that Monica will take to overtake Neha will be 15 minutes. We will get cancelled. Clear? Everyone out here in the session? Cool. Next question, and I'm sure this is one of those questions which all of you can solve it on your own. Quickly, without taking more time, solve this question quickly, everyone. Okay, the question says A is to B is as same as C is to D. A is to B is as same as C is to D. Clear? You can assume simple cases. Let's assume 1 is to 2 is as same as 4 is to 8. Now A square plus B square, A square plus B square division by C square, which is 4 square plus 8 square. Solve it in this way and it's quite easy for you to solve it later on. Cool. Answer for the given question quickly, all of you can solve this well. And then see which of the following expression can actually match with the answer. Now, the options which you can see is in variable form, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, excluding A, which is 1 by 2. What you have done, instead of variable, you have taken the numerical numbers of 1, 2, 4, and 8. Clear? Towards the end, you got to correlate the variables with the numericals which you have got. Cool. All of you, if you can solve this question. So the numerator will become 1 plus 4, which is 5, and the denominator will become 4 square is 16, and 8 square is 64, which will be 80. It's 5 upon 80, which will be 1 upon 16. 1 upon 16, just check which of the option will give you 1 upon 16. Quickly, all of you. It's option number D, which is 1 into 2 divided by 4 into 8. This will go 2 times, so it's going to become 1 upon 16 as the final answer. Yes, the answer for the given question will be as simple as option number D, which you have, then this one. Is this clear, everyone? I repeat, this is not a difficult question. All what you have done is consider a numerical figure instead of the variable which you've got, and you will get the answer quickly. Now, this is a beautiful question. You can solve it no way, you can solve it well also. This is a very beautiful question which has come up in the paper of 2021. Some people have actually misunderstood the question, and so they have done it wrong. Let's see if all of you can solve this question. The question says the dimensions of a floor. The dimensions of a floor are 18 into 24. It's a rectangle. What is the smallest number of identical tiles? What is the smallest number of identical square tiles that pave the entire floor without the need to break any single tile? Without a break, to break any single tile is a question. I'm sure all of you can solve this question, but yes, you got to be smart enough. I'll make a pictorial diagram so that it's quite easy for you to understand what the question is all about. Now, the dimensions of a floor is 18 by 24. Let's assume my length to be as 24 and my breadth to be as 18. Yeah. Now, okay. Now the question says, this have to be covered by identical square tiles. Now square tiles will go like this, will go like this, and certainly it's going to cover the whole path for this given floor. Clear? And the question is, what is the smallest number of identical tile? The smallest number of identical tile will come up when the maximum area will be covered. When the maximum area of the square will be covered. Cool. So let me give you 1 minute of a time to think through how to solve this question. Use some basic concept to take the question ahead. Please, all of you. Yes, all of you can solve the question really very well. It's not going to be a difficult question for you to understand. The only thing that you need to consider is what you want to maximize the area. You want to maximize the area of the square which we have got. Okay, let's see here. What is being asked to you to cover the area with the minimum number of square tiles, right? Now let's see this, my length. My length here is basically 24. My length here is basically 24. If I assume the length of, or let's say the length of the square is basically A. So the dimension of the square will be A by A. The dimension of this square will be A by A. Let's take this row first. Let's take this row first. The length of this possible path is how much? It's being given to us 24. Each of these squares is having a length of A. Now tell me how many such squares can be fitted in this row? How many such squares can be fitted in this row? Each time he is using A, and the total length to be covered is 24. So the number of squares which can be fitted in the given row will be 24 upon A. I hope this is clear, right? Let's say, for example, if I assume the length of the square to be a 6, and the total length which you have to cover is 24. So how many such square will come up? It's 24 by 6, which is basically 4. So it's 24 upon A. Now let's consider this breadth which I have got. This is of 18. Let's consider this column. To cover this column, which is of the length of 18 centimeter, meter, whatever you are considering. The length of each square is A. Each time you're using A, each time you're using A. So the number of tiles which can be fitted in this column will be how much? Will be 18 upon A. Now this is the number of squares which can be fitted in the row, and this is the number of squares which can be fitted in the column. So ideally 24 upon A into 18 upon A should ideally be the maximum number of should ideally be the maximum number of square tiles which can be paved. Now I want this whole number of to be an integer. I want 24 by A to be an integer. I want 18 by A to also be an integer. So A is a value which can divide 24. A is a value which can divide 18 also. So I need the maximum value of A. I need the maximum value of A which can divide 24 also and which can divide 18 also. How will you find out? By finding the HCF of 24 and 18. What is the HCF of 24 and 18? Definitely it's going to be 6. Definitely it's going to be 6. Clear? So the dimension of the square will basically be 6 by 6. Now tell me how many tiles, how many square tiles can be fitted in this row? It's going to be 24 upon 6, which is 4. And how many of them will be fitted in the column? Which it's going to be 18 upon 6, which will be 3. And my final answer will be 4 into 3, which will be 12 equal sized square tiles which have to be paved. Is this clear for the given question? Some people consider it to be in this way. What people do is, as a mistake, they consider 18 into 24 to be equal to A square. When will you do this? To match up the whole area. To match up the whole area, right? 24 upon A, sure, if you consider, let's say, if you want to cover this part, if you want to cover this part, this particular length, each time you're using A, each time you're using a square of length A, length A, length A, and length A. What is the total length to be covered? 24. Each time you're using A. So what is the amount of number of tiles which will come up to cover up this entire row? Will be how much? Will be 4 or 24 by A. Similarly, on the column side, I repeat, on the column side, you'll have how much? On the column side, you'll be 80, you'll be left with 18 upon A. So 24 upon A into 18 upon A is what you need to minimize. Why minimize? You need to find the smallest number of tiles. ये minimize कब होगा? जब A क्या होगा? Maximum होगा. जब denominator बड़ा होगा तो proportion छोटा होगा, right? So if you want to maximize A, you need to find the HCF of 24 and 18, which you found it to be a 6. Using that, you found 4 here and 3 here, a total of 12. Is this clear, everyone? Ayushi, Arpit, Antara? Cool. Now, this was definitely a challenging question to cover up in the examination. Not impossible, but slightly challenging questions you need to be ready with. Oh, so sometimes you will even see a visual question coming up in the examination. Visual means what? Visual to मतलब तुम पहले question देखो और अपने आप आंसर बताओ. Why do I have to interpret what is maximum and minimum? Now I'll give you 20 seconds to tell me the answer for the given question. Quickly, all of you can solve this. Without solving, you got to help me out with the answer. Come on. The question is, you got to arrange them in the ascending order from lowest to highest. All of you can solve the question. Come on, quickly, without taking more time. What is the answer for the given question? Quickly, please, all of you. Is it C? The answer has to be right. One of them will be right. No. Only one of them will be right. Is it B, C? See, the lowest value is visible. The lowest value is 4.5. That is minus 0.8. Clear? The answer for the given question would be option number C. Yes. So this is again a visual question, which you can solve it without even solving the question. Clear? You just have to be very much sharp while reading the question and looking at the options also. A good question which has come up. Now, this question certainly takes a lot of time, due diligence to solve these questions. The question says match the list with list 1 versus list 2. Now, there are two events happening. Probability of A happening, probability of B happening, probability of A and B together happening. And if you look at the option, there's complement also, which is being given to you. I repeat, B complement, A complement, union and intersection of A and B complement is also being given to you. Good. Now, probability of A happening. You can go in phases. See, I'll tell you the easiest one to solve basically will be what? The easiest one to solve is always the intersection, not the union. Clear? Union, possibly you will have to use multiple values. Intersection, you just multiply them and get the answer quickly. So let me solve this. Let me solve this. Let's see for A. A intersection B complement. What is A? Probability of A happening is 2 by 3. Probability of B happening is 1 by 2. So probability of B complement will be 1 minus 1 by 2, which is again 1 by 2. If you do that, the answer for the first question should be equal to 1 upon 3. So this should be ideally 1 upon 3. So easy it was. Now let's see for C. Let's see for C. A complement. A complement will be 1 minus 2 by 3, which will be 1 by 3, multiplied by B complement, which is 1 minus 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2, which is 1 by 6. So this should be 1 by 6. Just check. Among all the options, C, 1 by 3 is where? 1 by 3 is 2. So this should be 2. And C is basically 1 by 6. So this should be 4. First, try to match this. A should give you 2 and C should give you 4. Which all options we have got considering this? What all options we have got considering this? A should be 2 and C should be 4. Is there any other option coming up? Is there any other option coming up? Shaurya, Ananta, everyone. Is there any other option coming up? No. So the answer for the given question will be only C. Will be only C. You started with something which is very easier. Intersection is always easier than union. Found out the match. Using the match, you found out the other options or eliminate a couple of options. The leftover answer will be the answer for the given question. I hope this is clear, everyone out here in the session. Union, you will solve it, no? What is A union B? It is probability of A happening plus probability of B happening minus probability of A intersection B. Now, if it is complement, you take the reverse. If it is no complement, then take it directly. Clear? For example, if you start with this, which is A union B complement. What to say? A has been given to you as 2 by 3. B complement will be 1 minus 1 by 2, which is 1 by 2, minus A intersection B complement, right? Which will be 2 by 3 into 1 by 2. This will be the answer for option B. Clear? Everyone. Clear? Everyone out here in the session, Kripa? Ananta, everyone got the answer? Cool. Okay. Now this question, possibly I'll not give you any hint. I would want you to take a lead and solve this question. The question says in the year 2020, the production of sugar by 6 major production houses, A, B, C, D, E, F has been given to you from April to August. What is the approximate percentage decrease in the production of B in June and comparison with April? Come on, quickly. Solve this. Yeah, sure, I got the answer. It's quite an easy question. None of you will take that much of a time to interpret what the answer would be all about. Come on. It's 160 here. It is 180 here. So it is reducing by 20 upon 180, which is 2 upon 18, which is 1 by 9. 1 by 9 is basically roughly 11.11 percentage. Quickly, you will mark option number B to be the final answer. Clear, everyone? This is not a difficult question. Cool. You have solved it well. Good. Chalo. You will also expect questions, obviously, 2 to 3 questions coming up on SI and CI year on year. So here you go live with the first question which I have for you. This is an easy set which I have taken. The question says, the difference between the compound interest and the simple interest on the total amount is of 5,000 for 2 years is 32. The question for you is find the rate of interest per annum. The difference between CI and SI on the amount of 5,000 for 2 years 32. The question is then the rate of interest per annum is how much? Cool. Quickly solve this question, please, all of you. Come on, who got the answer for the given question? Cool. Now, possibly I'm going to give you like 30, 40 more seconds to solve this. Anyone who got the answer? Now, none of us will possibly go and solve this question by using the formula route. Now, they're talking about 2 years, right? They're just talking about 2 years. Now, all of you know that's SI or CI, the basic difference is CI is basically compounding. So it's called as successive percentage changes. And SI will be the linear percentage changes. For example, 5% for 1 year will count for 10% for 2 years. However, with CI with 5% will be A plus B plus a percentage of B. Will be A plus B plus a percentage of B, which will be 10.25. What is common? 10% is common here, 10% is common here. The difference is 0.25. Do you think 0.25% of 5,000 will give you 32 rupees? Is what you need to check with all the options which I have got. Clear? I repeat. All what we are doing is check the difference of CI and SI in terms of linear percentage change and the successive percentage changes. For example, option B, SI is 8 into 2, which is 16. Here will be 16 plus 8% of 8, which is 16.64. Difference of them will be 0.64. So it's 0.64 percentage of 5,000. If you do that, definitely you'll get the answer as 32 only. So manually, I'll just check with the 4 options. And in the second option, only you got the answer. So there's no point of view to solve option number C and D in the end. So the answer for the given question will be option number B. Shaurya, Antara, everyone out of you, is this clear? Ananta, Ayushi, Kavya, all of you, is this clear? CI is basically percentage on percentage, which is given by a simple application of A plus B plus a percentage of B. A is for first year, B is for second year, and this is change on change. Similarly, SI is basically percentage on percentage, which is linearly. So it's A plus A or A plus B. A plus B and A plus B is common. So the difference between all of them will be basically simply A percentage of B. So here, this is 5% of 5. Here it is 8% of 8. Here it is 10% of 10. Here it is 12% of 12. Clear? Cool. Next question, quickly. Now, this is slightly a lengthy question than the previous question, which you can see, but I'm sure all of you can solve it, though it is on the same topic of the difference of CI and SI. The question says the difference between the compound interest and the simple interest, the difference between the CI and the SI for the 2 years at certain sum at a certain rate of interest is basically 64 rupees. The question is the compound interest for 2 years is 704. I repeat, the compound interest for 2 years has been given to you as 704. The question is find the principal. The question for you is find the principal. I'll give you a lead or heads up for, let's say, 30 seconds. Come on, who got the answer for the given question? Now, all of us know there's one concept. What is the concept? Basically, in interest for the first year, the CI is equivalent to that of SI. The difference of CI and SI, as what we have seen in the previous question, is basically just the percentage of percentage which comes up in the second year. So CI will definitely more than the SI, but that the difference comes up only in the second year. For the first year, it is basically same. It has been said the difference of CI and SI for 2 years on a certain sum at certain rate of interest is basically 64. Clear? 2 साल के लिए जो डिफरेंस है वो कितना दिया हुआ 64 दिया हुआ है. क्लियर? क्वेश्चन क्या पूछा है? द कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट फॉर 2 years is 704. तो सीआई अगर 2 साल का तुमको 704 दिया हुआ है, तुमको ये भी पता है कि पहले साल का सीआई और एसआई सेम होता है, सो 2 साल का एसआई कितना होगा? 2 साल का एसआई एग्जैक्टली से 64 कम होगा. 64 कम करेंगे 704 में से तो कितना बचेगा? क्विकली, दिस विल बी 640. So 2 years of SI has been given to you as ideally 640. You also know SI remains same over the years. तो 1 साल का SI कितना होगा? 1 साल का simple interest will be 320. Will be basically 320. ये भी तुमको पता है, right? Now पहले साल का SI कितना है? 320. अगले साल का SI कितना है? 320. पहले साल का CI कितना था? 320, because वो तो सेम रहेगा. अगले साल कितना होगा? अगले साल होगा 320 plus 64. Is this understood to all of you? Everyone, for next year, it's going to be 320 plus 64. Why is this 64 coming up? This 64 is coming up because of the percentage on percentage. You get the aggregate of A percentage on B more, right? So what is the interest? अगर मुझे खाली interest निकालना है, so what is the interest? अगले साल के लिए, second year के लिए जो CI है, वो rate of interest कितना है? You got 64 on 320 more. 64 on 320 more will account for how much? Will account for basically 20%. Will account for basically 20%, which means 20% of my overall principal. 20% of my overall principal is 320. The question is as simple as 20% of the overall principal is 320. So what is the total principal? It's going to be 320 into 5, which should ideally be 1600. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Now, what is the logic or the science behind? One, the simple interest and the compound interest for the first year remains the same. कोई change नहीं है. तो पहले साल का अगर 320 है CI, तो SI भी 320 होगा. अगले साल का SI same होगा. SI is just linear every year. Next year also it is 320. But CI is basically 64 rupees more because there's a difference of 64 rupees. So this 64 you got as some percentage on 320, right? That's what I'm figuring out. I got 64 rupees on 320. 64 rupees on 320 is basically 20%. So the overall percentage increment which I'm seeing is 20%. Clear? Every year you're getting 20% more, 20% more, My base year from first year to second year is basically 320. So 20% will be basically 320. So my overall principal will become 20 into 500%, which is 1600. Is this clear, everyone out here in the session? Come on, all of you who are there live in the session, is this clear? Cool. Going ahead, let's take some good questions which you can see here and they're coming up. Cool, let's take this question. Again, solving this question, do not consider and emphasize on the length of the question. This has nothing to do with what kind of length the question is all about, but solving it in the best possible manner. The question says, a shopkeeper claims to sell the rice at the cost price, but he uses a false weight. With the intention of selling the rice at 25% profit. Clear? The question says, after selling rice to a customer, he realizes that the customer has paid 10% less than what he would have ideally paid. The question for you is, what is the actual profit percentage made by the shopkeeper? Now, very simple. You'll see there are two propositions coming up. On one side, I'm incurring a profit. On one side, I'm incurring a loss. All what you will do is you will simply use successive percentage change in the form of A, B, and A percentage of B. A, B, and A percentage of B. What to say? This is my profit. This is my loss. This is profit into loss. The answer is straightforward, one expression. It's plus 25 minus 10 minus 10% of 25. 25 minus 10 is 15 minus 10% of 25, which is 2.5. So my overall profit in the end will be as simple as 12.5%. Is this clear? That's the only thing which you need to do. Some people will understand, okay, let me assume the cost price to be 100. Using the default measures, you got some profit, you're incurring some loss. None of these things will be required and will be a prerequisite to solve these questions. All the profit and loss, wherever you see multiple engagements of increasing the profit, the incurring the loss happening together, you just have to use simple successive percentage formula to help you out with to get the answer. Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Not a difficult question, right? Cool. Okay. Let's take this last question of time through distance again from the previous year. I remember the slot. This is slot B or slot 2 for the CMAT last year exam. The question says, pipe X can fill a tank in 12 hours. Pipe X can fill a tank in 12 hours. Pipe Y can empty a tank in 18 hours. Both the pipes are open together at 8 a.m. But after some time, Y is being closed. The tank is filled at 10 p.m. The question is, the tank is being filled at 10 p.m. on the same day. The question is, at what time pipe 5 was closed? So there are two taps, or pipes rather you can consider it to be. One of them is doing a positive work. One of them is doing a negative work. I can fill the tank in 12 hours. I can empty the tank in 18 hours. See, at 8 a.m., both the taps were respectively open together. After a certain time, Y was basically closed. And when the tank got filled, the tank got filled at 10 p.m. Imagine there's no negative work. Then A or the pipe X could have completed filling the tank by in 12 hours. But the time would have been ideally be 8 p.m. You see, from 8 p.m. you're taking or you're going here till 10 p.m. Instead of 12 hours of work, the work is now being done in 14 hours. So what is the percentage of more work which is being done? The percentage of more work or time which is being taken is basically 2 upon 12, which is 1 by 6. And 1 by 6 is basically 16.66%. Well, basically 1 by 6 is 16.66%. So you are taking 1/6 of time more because there's a negative work which is also happening, right? So अगर 1/6 टाइम ज्यादा लग रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली 1/6 टाइम के लिए जो टैब बी है वो भी खुला होगा. So 1/6 of 18 hours is basically 3 hours. So till from the inception of 8 a.m. when both the taps were open for 3 hours, both the pipes were working together. So 8 a.m. plus 3 hours will count for 11 a.m. By 11 a.m., pipe Y was shut and then X was continuing here. And yes, and this is simply a logical question. And the answer for the given question will be 11 a.m. Is this clear, everyone? Come on, all of you. Have you guys understood the question and formatting of this question? This is not a difficult question, provided your conversion of unit work to percentage or percentage to unit work is clear, is very much intact. Clear? So CMAT as an exam ideally will not be difficult at all. All what you need to do is one, there's no scope for any of the topic to be untouched. You got to solve everything. Some of the topics you will love it, some of the topics you will hate it, but you need to cover the basics of these topics really very well. That's one. Secondly, solve all the previous year questions which has come on CMAT, and every day you need to cover up at least a topic level test, a sectional test, or at least a full length paper day by day, day by day, and day by day. Not even a single day you need to mix to lose upon. Now, ideally, there's no dearth of time. I repeat, there's no dearth of time. You will see all the 100 questions you'll be able to cover up before the time gets exhausted. So there's no, it's not a rat race as for the CET examination or the NMAT exam is all about. There's plethora of time. All what you need to do is make sure in round one you're selecting the good ample amount of questions which are 14, 15 easy solvable questions in the first go. Efficiency should be high and the rate of success should be 100%. Left over some 4, 5, 6 questions in the end. 1 or 2 questions you can skip it, or possibly would not be able to do it. But 18 questions all of us should be able to solve. What we'll do in the upcoming weeks and the days, we'll keep more such sessions so that we can give you those fine and edge touches for all the questions and the topics in the given set of examination of CMAT and CET. Clear? Vaishnavi, to answer your question, focus only on arithmetic and algebra. I repeat, focus only on arithmetic and algebra. From permutation, combination, and probability, you will see maximum chances of probability question coming up than PNC questions. Clear? And so let me repeat, in algebra, you're solving only equations, do only quadratic equation, and that's it. No inequalities and logs and functions you can ever, should ever be bothered. Arithmetic, everything you're doing. In algebra, you're solving all the equation-based questions, and then probability. These are 3 important variety of questions coming up. Among all the questions which comes on geometry, you'll see maximum proportion of triangle and line-based questions coming up. So let me say polygons and triangle-based questions you need to cover up. At least the formulas and the properties of these figures should be known to us. Clear? Kripa will update you soon next 2 to 3 days to help you out with more sessions on logic and verbal also, and taking the live actual CMAT paper too. If you guys need us to solve the live CMAT mock together, I think get in touch with the MBAP mentors and the faculties. They'll help you out with solving live CMAT mock test with all of you so that you can understand the way of solving those questions and fixing up easy questions in the first go. Cool. So we'll soon update you about the more upcoming workshops. By then you can be in touch and follow regular updates of MBAP on all the social platforms, and we'll help you out with more such notifications. I thank you each one of you, and I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next workshop. Thank you.